Hey lads, this is from Kat. Absolutely frothing on the podcast. I listen to you boys on my balcony with a bottle of wine and my headphones on. My neighbours probably think I've lost the plot because I sit there just cackling with my smoker's wheeze. Kat, you sound sexy. I'd like you to please have a word with my best friend Jade. She's a great girl and one of my best friends, but she's a massive interrupter. I'll be trying to tell a story and she will butt in barely halfway through and go on a massive...
Who's this?
I'm getting a
Hey!
Might get a chippy tonight.
Two professional comedians doing the same joke at the same time.
It's the most important thing about comedy, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I will be trying to tell us what the two comedians do the punchline at the same time.
Simon.
I will be...
Timing.
I will... Farmers. I will be trying to... Because of farmers. I will be trying to tell a story and she will butt in barely halfway through and go on a massive tangent that has nothing to do with what she was saying. She's incredibly intelligent and I'm sure she has a million thoughts in her head just waiting to escape, but when she really kicks off, it's like cerebral diarrhea. I love her too much to tell her to shut up, so I was hoping you lads could have a word with her. Cheers, Kat. The old interrupter.
I don't think Chris heard the end of that because he was inspecting the cushion.
I just realised it said have a word on it, but I just had it there all the way through.
Little security thing.
Yeah. I heard the end of it. I know it. Do you want to know what I think about it? What?
No. Sorry.
Why is Dan shaking his head at me? I don't know. I thought it's your fucking... I've never listened to this podcast before. I thought
We haven't invited you to just come and watch us do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I thought you just started off and I just kind of chipped in.
I know.
You're like fucking Badil and Skinner and I'm just fucking here for the...
There has been a few moments where I've asked you a question and you're giving off a vibe of a man who wants to go, mind your own fucking business.
What's the
fucking nosy.
All right, well, hang on. Your listener has sent in a question to you, and then you just looked at me, and I thought, well, fucking your podcast. You fucking sort it out. And then you're looking at me, like, you going to sort this out? It's like, yeah. When you put me on the fucking wage bill, I will, lads, yeah. Jesus Christ.
He's already hit.
Jesus. Right, okay, so.
Sort of life out.
So what I would say is, it's obviously not your best friend, is it? Because if it was Carl and he kept saying, you'd just fucking tell him instantly, wouldn't you? You'd be like, mate, do you realise you do that every time? But I think with everything, you have to approach it by taking the piss at first, don't you? I mean, like, and gone, oh, here we go, we've completely gone off on one. And yep, now we're talking about your thing. You know what I mean? Do it in a joking way and like, and then, but if they're your best friend, ultimately...
Men are better at dealing with shit like that than women, though. I know it's a generalisation. But in general, like if a man has got a problem with his mate, he'll go, stop being a dickhead. Whereas what women tend to do is just store it and then decide they hate that woman but remain friends with them.
I don't know why she doesn't get it. And you're like, why don't you
tell her?
Yeah. About the interrupting thing, me and Adam are up to now 170, 100 and whatever episodes. And it's this weird thing where we're both trying to be funny. We're trying to hold conversations. And there's a point where you have to judge when you're joining in, when you're not interrupting. You have to sometimes wait for them to finish their bit so you can say your bit. You also have to respond to what Adam's saying. It is a really difficult thing that sometimes we get wrong. Like, I interrupt Adam. I've had someone message me going, oh, you were interrupting each other too much or interrupting the guests. You're like, this isn't like a conversation. There's nearly 35,000 people watching and listening. So
but there are podcasts that are like that, where it's you talk, then I'll talk, you talk, then I'll talk.
Yeah.
This isn't an interview show. That's what some people don't understand. And it happens a couple of times.
Chris definitely is not into it.
It's a skill, though. No, it's a skill, though, isn't it? In terms of working in a thing like knowing when is the right time to talk and listen. It is a skill what you pick up by work. You know, I mean, it's a life skill as well, I suppose, in terms of conversation, like knowing when it's your turn to talk and contributing. Because some people can be the opposite and come across as they don't like getting involved in conversations, but they just don't have the confidence to jump in, really, I suppose, do they? And it's a bit of a weird one, but...
And that's it. There's nothing wrong with going, sorry, I interrupted you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just getting giddy about the chat, aren't you? Oh. So you can go, sorry guys, I was getting a bit.
It happens on this when we get a new listener. When like we have like a guest on who brings us a couple of new viewers or whatever, and they're essentially watching it for the interview with the guest. Like when we had Paddy and Jamie on recently, and one of their fans will watch it and they'll go, "You were interrupting the guest." It's like, it's not an interview. We're trying to be funny a lot of the time on this, and comedy is about timing. And if you let a joke go for a minute, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
So you have to get it in when it is, and that means occasionally we stand on the guest stands on us, and blah blah blah.
But in conversation, when someone doesn't get it, like.
Oh, mate,
Laura's great. If I ever do it to her, she's like, "Haven't finished."
Yeah,
you're like, "Oh yeah," because
my least favorite treat.
I get. If you get giddy and you want to tell someone something, but there's still nothing wrong with going.
That's a good way of getting involved as well.
Yeah, especially with them big fucking slapping hands.
Tell you what makes it dead hard as well. I did my podcast on fucking Zoom with bad internet. Where have you ever watched it on the news when someone's going like, "Oh, we've got John at Westminster," and then they keep interrupting each other. That's impossible to do. Have a conversation.
We are never having a guest via Zoom.
Yeah, it's impossible.
No way.
Yeah,
doesn't work.
Have you got a big dick?
No.
It looks like he does have.
Yeah, no.
It's your fingers.
All in proportion with the rest of me.
You got big hands though.
Big hands.
That's what made me think.
Could you post loads of letters at once with them?
Yeah, I was good at posting letters. Postman for 10 years. If anyone interested, never stole anything. Never.
Nothing. Not one single item.
Nothing. I think you.
Are we brushing past the fact that Adam just mid podcast went, "Have you got a big dick?" And everyone, not really. I was a postman though, and Adam just stayed there looking at it, going. I could see Adam's thinking, "Yeah, it's got a big dick."